Life usually moves forward in the same rhythm, along the same path, until suddenly a moment comes and turns everything upside down. An unexpected shock, an unforeseen event, and within an instant, the familiar world becomes unfamiliar. And today we are going to see some such scenes. So let's begin. Always maintain a safe distance from large trucks. Be prepared for any situation, because a dash cam can record dramatic moments, but it cannot save your life. Remember, life is far more valuable than time, although many people still fail to understand that. While demolishing a collapsing building, the entire structure gave way prematurely. The operator survived, but that moment will remain the most terrifying memory of his life. Roads like these can cut a vehicle's lifespan in half. Such incidents don't happen just once. Every day, the world gives people a taste of new realities. This isn't a scene from a movie. This is a harsh reality. Unable to withstand excessive water pressure, a dam broke. Hundreds of thousands of people had to be evacuated, but fortunately there were no casualties. One small mistake, and now it will take several bulldozers to clear the wreckage. Everyone was evacuated before the road collapsed, because sometimes fate gives people a second chance. In Manhattan, a multi-level parking structure suddenly collapsed, turning the entire area into rubble within seconds. In northern China, a wall of an old factory suddenly collapsed, crushing 17 cars, including a luxury Rolls-Royce. The total loss exceeded $400,000, and sadly, there wasn't a single dollar of insurance. The bridge collapse could have turned into a terrible tragedy, but thankfully everyone survived. In just 45 seconds, skyscrapers were reduced to dust, as if an entire city vanished before our eyes. It took months to clear the debris of a nearly 100-year-old bridge. Destruction can happen quickly, but removing its traces takes time. After a long legal battle, the building was finally approved for demolition. Although the first two attempts failed, the third explosion reduced everything to dust. During the 2024 earthquake, a building in Taiwan tilted at nearly a 45-degree angle. It took about 2 weeks to safely demolish it. On June 10, 2024, a powerful landslide at Teton Pass in Wyoming caused a large section of highway to collapse. Drone footage showed deep cracks in the road and guardrails hanging in midair. After demolition, the building looked like a city destroyed by war. On July 8, 2020, a crane about 20 meters long collapsed onto a house in London, triggering a desperate rescue operation to save lives. Sometimes, destruction doesn't come with warning signs. It arrives silently, builds up over time, and then suddenly reveals its full force in just a few seconds. In another incident, workers were repairing an old highway bridge when cracks began to spread faster than anyone expected. Within moments, a section of the road gave way, leaving heavy machinery hanging in the air. Miraculously, no one was standing on the collapsing part at that exact moment. But not all stories are this lucky. In a coastal city, rising sea levels combined with a powerful storm surge caused seawalls to fail. Streets that were dry in the morning turned into flowing rivers by evening. Cars floated away, streetlights leaned under pressure, and entire neighborhoods had to be evacuated in emergency conditions. Natural forces often remind us how small human construction really is compared to the power of nature. Elsewhere, in a busy industrial zone, a massive storage tank suddenly ruptured due to internal pressure. Thick liquid spread across the ground, forcing workers to run for safety within seconds. The cleanup took weeks and the damage cost millions, but what mattered most was that lives were saved. In another part of the world, a high-speed train narrowly avoided disaster when a landslide blocked the tracks just minutes before arrival. Emergency braking systems activated instantly, stopping the train just a few meters before impact. Passengers later described it as a moment frozen in time. But not every warning comes in time. In a densely populated urban area, an old residential building showed visible cracks for months. Residents had reported it repeatedly, but action came too late. One night, while most people were asleep, the structure collapsed silently. Rescue teams worked through the night, pulling survivors from the rubble. Moments like these remind us that neglect can sometimes be more dangerous than disasters themselves. On another occasion, a large airport hangar roof gave way under unexpected heavy snowfall. Aircraft parked inside were damaged, and the entire structure had to be rebuilt from scratch. Engineers later called it a preventable failure caused by underestimated load pressure. Even modern cities are not immune. In a financial district filled with glass skyscrapers, a sudden fire broke out due to an electrical fault. Within minutes, evacuation alarms echoed through the building. Firefighters managed to contain it before it spread, but the incident revealed how quickly high-rise environments can become dangerous. In rural regions, bridges that connect small communities sometimes fail after years of unnoticed structural weakening. One such wooden bridge collapsed while a truck was crossing it, sending it partially into the river below. Rescue teams arrived quickly, preventing a worse outcome. There are also moments when technology itself becomes unpredictable. During a routine construction project, a crane lost balance due to strong winds and poor stabilization. The operator managed to jump clear seconds before it collapsed onto the ground. The sound of metal crashing echoed across the entire site. In another case, underground water erosion weakened the foundation of a parking lot. Without any visible warning on the surface, the ground suddenly caved in, swallowing multiple vehicles in seconds. These events remind us that danger is not always visible. Sometimes it hides beneath our feet, behind walls, or within structures we believe are stable. Even in controlled environments, accidents can unfold unexpectedly. A chemical plant once experienced a sudden valve failure, releasing pressure in a controlled explosion system. Emergency protocols activated instantly, preventing a larger disaster. In mountainous regions, rockfalls continue to pose serious risks. A single loose boulder can trigger a chain reaction, sending tons of debris downwards with unstoppable force. Road closures and warning systems exist, but nature does not always follow rules. And yet, amid all this destruction, there are also moments of survival that feel almost impossible. People escaping collapsing structures just seconds before impact, vehicles stopping inches away from disaster, entire families evacuated just before floodwaters rise. These moments are not miracles, they're reminders of timing, awareness, and sometimes pure chance. Every incident carries the same silent message. Nothing is truly permanent. Not buildings, not roads, not even the systems we trust every day. But what we do control is awareness, preparation, and respect for risk. Because in the end, the difference between tragedy and survival is often just a few seconds. And life, as fragile as it is powerful, continues forward, unpredictable, uncontrollable, and always reminding us to stay